99.3 Nigeria Info. Sincere apologies for the delay. The systems can do, whatever it is that they intend to do sometimes. Yeah, okay. Now let's begin. Welcome to the show. I am Sheriff Quadry.
I'm Jimi. Disu. Good morning.
Right, let's get into it. We've got the punch here. We're going to start from there. On page 14, we have this story here that reads, Tinubu appoint Jimi as acting accountant general of Federation.
Right. So the story here says that Mr. Shamsuddin Ogunjimi has been appointed as the acting accountant general of the Federation, and the announcement was made yesterday. By Bayo Ononoga, Mr. Bayo Ononoga. His appointment is effective immediately following the pre-retirement leave of the incumbent, Dr. Oluwatoyin Madane. And so Mr. Ogunjimi's history is put out here. We don't know for how long Mr. Ogunjimi will act, but from all indications and following all the normal threads, usually the acting becomes the substantive. And by sheer coincidence, Mr. Ogunjimi is also from the Southwest, which wraps up what I would call the Southwest colonization of the financial architecture of the country. So we'll go on to the next story.
You said colonization.
No, I didn't say colonization. I said the
Southwest colonization.
No, I didn't use the word colonization. I've forgotten. I wish I could play the tape back. But colonization, yes, might also just be in order. What is happening? I know you want to prompt me. What is happening is unfortunate, and it's a pity that the president still doesn't see it. Where you would have CBN, this or anything financial infrastructure, including the oil. The president is the oil minister. The chairman of NNPC is his pal and stuff like that. And continuously we complain about this, but this balance has refused to be put in place. The financial infrastructure of any country is key. What happens when you do things like this? You set other nationals whose work is crucial in the system, you make them become complacent. If I'm an Ijoman and I'm a deputy director, my spirit will not be in the job. And I'm in that circle. That's what we're saying. Minister, CBN, everything. And it's just not right. People always make this reference that they always say that Buhari did that. It doesn't make it right. And the president says he's a reformer. This is where the reform starts from. By putting a balance in the system that you want to use to achieve your aims. And that is why sometime last week some appointments were made in the morning. By evening they were withdrawn. That is why you have an imbalance in the system, Sheriff. That is why. So, because other nationals will just sit back and say, Naden Tom. And at the end of the day, we all are going to suffer for it. And of course, I told you the flip side, if the Yorubas are jubilating now, they should remember that their children are going to have to take positions in future. And they'll now be telling them, if that's where we want to go, that you've had your time.
Is there ever going to be a stop to it? Because when other regions, when they do same,
Yes.
we will still have this cry of, they are doing it, and they will not say, but your people did it first.
Yes.
Or your people did it once.
Yes, I agree with you. It's going to become a way of life. Winner takes all. Okay, when it's your region's turn, you can clear everything as much as you want. We've given too much powers to the president. And unfortunately, we have a parliament that is completely docile and submissive to him. Akpabio himself said that Tinubu goes to bed. I don't know who said it, that Tinubu goes to bed because Akpabio is in charge of the National Assembly. These are the things that we expect the National Assembly to call everybody's attention to. You'll be wondering, what is the whole fuss that I'm making? It is the little things that ruin things, not the big one. If you are wearing a white shirt to a function, and then you sat where a bird is flying about and it pulls and that stain is on your shirt with the smell, that's the end of what you are doing for the day. And if the president says that he's a reformer, reform should start from these little things. These little things, it shouldn't just be rhetoric. Every time we talk reforms. This is a very good place to start. Obasanjo did very well in bringing a balance into these things. And that's why he was able to move the country up to a point. But with this, what we're doing, winner takes all, we're going to pay dearly for it. And by the way, my origins is Yoruba, so it's not a case of that. He doesn't like them. I'm a dog.
Say it now. We're used to it.
No. I know you will abuse me again.
Right. Doesn't look good, does it?
It does. It's not good. It's not just that it doesn't look good. It is not good, and it is a pity that we can't find 6-10 elders who can put themselves together, including Afenifere and all these people, to tell him that Oga Eleiti Poju.
Why are they quiet though? That's true.
It's because every man for himself and God for us all. They can easily slip their children through the system. They can easily get contracts. They can easily get things done. So they are happy. But the rest of us will pay for it. Yes. It's a pity that we don't have people with conscience visible in this country. I can count the people with conscience who are visible. I can count them on my fingertips. Who can tell you the truth, not because they want to be rabble-rousers, but can just say the plain truth and stand up to be counted. I don't know. It's a sad... and so when we always blame the leadership, we are under some kind of capture by various groups. Your problem in Nigeria is local. Afenifere will come and say, a group of us, about 50 people will come and say they're speaking on behalf of Yoruba land. Your traditional rulers will do the same. Okay? Because they can key into the system and get benefits for themselves and their children. And the rest of us are bound to the Philistines. Sad. I once told my friend, a very successful friend who advocates this Yoruba, whatever it is, I told him that you didn't get to where you are by being you got there by God's whatever and diligent hard work. And that is what you should promote for the sake of your children. But our elites, honest to God, complete disappointment. It's just about them. Once they can meet and they're just good to go. And we allow them to keep the narrative. People should now stand up and say, you are not talking on our behalf, you are talking on your behalf and your friends and associates. You just said the North will not support. Who when you hear someone like ACF saying the North is not going to support the what president, what who gave you that mandate to speak? Which we never ask questions. Have you asked the average Igbo man what he thinks of the Ohanese? Have you asked the Yoruba man what he thinks of the affair? I'm not deriding these groups. I'm not deriding them. They have the right to get together. But this thing that you are doing things on behalf of the general for your own personal benefits, somebody has to put a stop to it one day. And it will happen.
Okay. All right. Let's go take a look at our next story. Page 6 of the Vanguard newspaper. Alleged cyberbullying. Why court denied Farotimi bail? Okay,
this is just quickly to go through what is happening. So yesterday, the magistrate, remember there was a federal high court. Now this is the magistrate's court. He was denied bail yesterday. And the police prosecutor requested his remand in prison custody pending further investigations. I find that, do you need to put him in custody to complete your investigation? But we say we can't comment on certain things, but we can't give our opinion on certain. But I'm just asking that question: Do you need to lock him up to conduct? And what investigation are you doing in the case of what do you call it, slander? The book is already there. Is a point of law to go to court to argue. What else are you investigating? Was there a murder? No. And so, anyway, the counsel to the police had said that Adeyinka Olumide Fusika, SCN, who is the lawyer to the defendant, said a son does not have the right to appear as a representative of the defendant. I don't. These are legal matters. But all said and done, he hasn't been granted bail. He's still in prison, and I think the matter comes up, I think 20th of December or something like that, and we'll see how that goes.
Yes, indeed. Let's go to this story here on page 4 of the Vanguard newspaper. Tinted glass. Reps stop FCT police harassment of motorists.
Yeah, I saw my brother Tuji Disu. I saw him, saying that the police will not allow tinted glass for security reasons. I believe in that though. What are you hiding really? Why would you want? I don't have my cars tinted. A little bit of tint because of the sun. But this idea, and Nigerians will tint up to a point, then you make a little hole. and he also spoke, there are two other things he spoke about that I found quite interesting. Covered number plates is the most imbecilic act of an adult. Let me tell you where this came from. In the military, usually, apart from the number of the vehicle, you put the rank of the officer. If the officer is in the car, you expose the rank. If he's not in the car, you cover the rank to show you that the officer is not there. That is what civilians have done to covering their number plates. Because if you sit down and look at it, why would you want to cover your number plate? It's just some of these habits that we pick up. The other thing also was that he frowned at driving a car with that not registered at all. It's only in Nigeria you can have that kind of impunity. Because even if the car is going to be delivered, let's say it's a brand new car, it hasn't been registered, it should have a delivery number plate. You can't, and in the past, you wouldn't dare drive a car with that, but now it's so rampant. The SUV will have no number plate. The Hilux in front, loaded with all kinds of mean-looking, carrying Koboko. I'd like to ask the Inspector General whether Koboko is part of what a policeman should be carrying or a baton. I'd like somebody to let the police advise us on that. But you see, I saw them yesterday with Koboko. They clear you off the road. Anyway, the House of Reps have said that they've halted they've halted the directive, and they've directed they say that it has called on the man to issue a public notice granting a grace period of not less than 90 days, during which vehicle owners could take necessary steps. I don't agree with them. That thing can be pulled off in 2 minutes. I don't think you need 90 days to do that. I don't think you need 90 days to decide whether you want to cover your number or not. And you certainly don't need 90 days to register a vehicle. Indeed, if you know your onions, I can get a vehicle registered before 10:30 this morning. So I don't believe that. This is part of the problem. Our politicians try to endear themselves to us in the wrong manner. To look as if, we do not want to. And they also say that they directed the Ministry of Information and Culture to collaborate with relative stakeholders to launch a comprehensive public enlightenment campaign informing citizens about the specifics of the regulations and procedures for obtaining necessary permits. I don't believe that. We must have discipline. What you should give the police the powers to park the vehicle and get the driver there and then to remove the tint. And then he moves on. They should give them the powers to remove the whatever it is to cover the number plate and get the person charged. They should have the powers to seize the vehicle until he goes register the vehicle, puts the number plate, and then drives on. That is if you don't want it to be punitive. I believe it should be punitive. Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
It's no excuse.
And I beg to say that I find this act very, very condescending and a mark of indiscipline on the part of those who decided this. It is a mark of it's this kind of laxity. We have misplaced democracy with irresponsibility. The so-called and that is what is ruining the world today. And that is why some people are happy that Trump is going to be president of the United States, because he's not inclined to a lot of these things. He has said, for example, there will be no transgenders in the military. All these things. We need to stop that in Nigeria. The law is the law. You don't need 90 days to enlighten anybody about anything. Anybody who buys a car knows it must be registered. So I disagree with them. The parliament should endear themselves to us by cross-checking the executive. That's what we voted them in for, to stop this kind of impunity that we have, to stop the kind of indiscipline that we have at federal and state levels. Not things like this. Next thing you know now, that they want to have a public hearing on tinted glass. Mr. Disu was able to say that this tinted glass, which makes common sense, makes it difficult to know who is being kidnapped or whatever. And it stands to reason. If they allow tinted glass in other countries, in our own country, the security architecture we have is still crude. And I don't think anybody will die if you don't have tinted glass. I don't think anybody will die. But you see, we like breaking the law. When you get to the airport, for example, they say passengers only. Emma, don't go there. I say, no, it's not for people like us. We like that kind of thing. It still happens at the airport. And I'd like to recognize a lot of things that Festus Keyamo is trying to introduce in that airport, and I think he needs that support. Trying to put a check on the various security agencies. He's knocked off. There's a table at the airport when you pass through the checks and so on and so forth that has customs and NDLEA and so on and so forth. And I like his argument. If you've already gone through security check, your bags and whatever, why did you go to? So I'm happy to recognize what he's doing there, and we'll more than thank him for it. Back to this, I don't support what the House of Reps are doing here, and it is not harassment of motorists. You must follow the law.
Indeed. 7:51 from our studios. So let's go take this story in the Daily Trust. ECOWAS may formalize Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger exit.
It is a shame that Nigeria finds itself complicit in this split of ECOWAS. Because an ECOWAS without Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, which might also be followed by Guinea and some other French-speaking countries, is a very unfortunate event in this side of Africa. At a time when all Africa should come together, when we should be strengthening ECOWAS, strengthening the African Union, so that Africa can speak with one voice to stop this second slavery that we're being put through, Nigeria finds itself complicit. And not just complicit, romancing who many people consider the culprit in this exercise. And so he says that barring any last-minute changes, the heads of states of ECOWAS would ratify the formal departure of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger Republic. And if care is not taken, more would follow. And for the record, the chairman of ECOWAS is our own president. History is not going to be kind to us in this particular matter. Next.
Let's go to the Metro page of the Punch. We've got some stories here.
Father arrested for allegedly killing 2-month-old son. Oh my God. He's a herbalist. What else is there? 1 killed, 7 injured in Lagos Ibadan Expressway. Suspected drug lord gets 100 million naira bail in Lagos. Sanwo-Olu opens rehabilitated Ikoyi roads. Let me see what this is. The Lagos State Governor, Sanwo-Olu, has inaugurated phase 2 of the rehabilitation road in Ikoyi-Etiosa, highlighting the state's drive towards infrastructure renewal and urban development. The event took place on Tuesday and featured the unveiling of 7 ungraded roads. Speaking at the event, why I don't understand this. You repair roads, you have to have an event. The roads are good. Let me admit that. It's a beautiful day. I love driving. And on Sundays, my habit is to find an excuse to go on those roads. It's a job well done. But this is an overkill. This is an overkill. And couched in a drive towards infrastructural renewal. You shouldn't have infrastructural renewal. You should have what you call maintenance. It should be ongoing. And then now you have a ceremony at which the governor finds the time to speak at the event. Politics, I don't understand. Lagos State government calls for innovation in real estate sector, and governor's wife sensitizes pupils to some whatever it is. There's this story that I found quite interesting. CBN awards OPE for financial inclusion innovation. I congratulate OPE, but also I'm beginning to recognize, what do they call them? The OPEs, money points, and so on and so forth. There's a word for them. But I recognize the services that they render. You
mean POS agents?
No, they're not POS agents. They are something financial. Old age is beginning to bother me. But they they are not really banks and so on and so forth.
They are not banks.
But the CBN has awarded OPE for financial inclusion innovation, and for that matter, the money points and the other
people
ones.
People are saying it's fintech. Is it fintech?
They are fintechs, yes. God bless. Who said that?
Plenty people.
Choose one. Choose one. Tell me the name now.
They will call me INEC now.
No, choose one. I want to dash that person for Obina, call me. Let me roger you for Christmas. The fintechs. Only God knows what would have happened without them, really, to be honest with you. And I'm glad that this is happening. So congratulations, OPE, and congratulations to the rest of the fintechs. We value the services that you render. What's this one now? This is a full story. What time do we have? How much time?
We have about 3 minutes.
3 minutes. I can't do this in 3 minutes, so I'll put it aside. But let me read the headline to you. One of these days, I will take it as a full-time 1 hour story. It talks about Nigerians groan as cash scarcity compounds hardship. Okay? Limited cash supply, low cash deposits cause rationing. Reps urge CBN to address cash crunch as economic hardship bites. I can't remember the last time I went to an ATM. Rather, I'm now forced to expose that's where these fintechs come in, because you can quickly move some little money there and use it at the POS whatever, rather than risking your account details. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If that is the way we want to go, let's close down the ATMs and know that is the way we're going to go. But it's a pity that a year down the line, 18 months down the line, the CBN has not addressed this issue properly and has not been able to explain, neither have the banks been able to explain, why you can't go to an ATM machine and withdraw money as you wish. Yes, there will be limits, but let us know what the limits are. But they're almost becoming extinct. And so it has reports. This is a very good report by the Vanguard. And I don't know, tomorrow Thursday, I can't remember if I have something else. I might look at it, because it brings reports from Lagos, Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Edo, Nasarawa, all the states. There's a report from them, and I think it deserves some proper handling, because I think I have less than 1 minute now.
Yes, less than 1 minute.
Very quickly, this
we
headline.
Can take a look at this story.
This story here, this headline.
Something else.
Yahoo boy allegedly stabs mother to death. A 22-year-old man identified as Quadry in Bayelsa State has allegedly stabbed his mother to death over failed attempts to use her for ritual purposes. That is the Nigeria that you live in. What a shame. What a shame. And then there's another one here. Snake bites man attempting to steal farm produce. Do we now use, instead of having dogs as guards, you can now use snakes?
It was just unfortunate.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Maybe the snake is there to guard it.
Yeah. You think so?
Yes.
Okay.
All
right. We have to go now.
Have you ever stolen from a farm before?
No, I haven't.
When I was in school, I remember some people used to go and steal corn from a farm and cook it. I didn't go to steal with them, but I ate it. And guess what? Look at that. I had some fears. We all had some fears. They went to steal the corn. We ate it. And they were all waiting for our stomachs to swell. Because they had some juju thing around it. But our stomachs didn't swell. This one is not from that corn. This one is more from the black bottle over the years.
You're back at 9.
I'm back at 9.
Lagos, that's our show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yes, with Debumi. Kofi is next. Stay hip.
As the years they go, we dey work for dough. Some days it fast, some days it slow. Many highs and lows, but we carry go. Nothing go stop our doing so.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's